Hello again, everybody. This is Amanda. I'm back with y'all today. So we're going to go over sprinkles. The last videos I did were for the buttercream and fondant Lucky Charm cereal bowl design. And today I'm going to be showing you how to do the sprinkles. So we have a lot of different sprinkle designs, and they'll be hitting the website pretty soon here. But for this set comes with all of these sprinkle cutters. And today I'm going to be showing you how to use these. One of the reasons I love working with sprinkle cutters is because you can make them ahead of time, or sometimes like if you feel like doing some baking, but not really, you just want to get in the kitchen and play for a while, but maybe not really like go through all of the, hassle of actually baking. Sprinkles are really a lot of fun. So just taking a day to make sprinkles is one of my favorite things to do. All right, so today we're going to be doing the unicorn, the rainbow, and the star. And I'm just going to show you guys these real quick. Okay, so these, let's see here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got you have to have a nice like tile or piece of glass, some sort of soft, not soft, some sort of very hard, smooth surface, non-porous. So I'm using, like I said, a piece of kitchen tile. You can also use, glass, a good piece of acrylic, Actually, my friend got me this glass cutting board. It has Winnie the Pooh on it, and I love it. So I use that sometimes, but I thought it might be too distracting in this video. Anyway, so I've gotten this tile cleaned, but what I like to do before I do sprinkles is just some like kind of surface prep. So what this is homemade vanilla, and it's just vanilla beans and a lot of vodka, so it's very strong. And so the reason I do that is, just like making sure my surface is nice and clean. And then, any smell or anything that's left, it's going to be vanilla. It's not going to be, whatever scent of Mrs. Meyer's I happen to be using at the moment. So anyway, I got that ready to go. And let's see here. All right, so the sprinkles are made out of fondant. And as most of y'all know, I am not a big fan of fondant, especially not American fondant. American fondant is corn syrup based, whereas like other brands not made in the US are usually glucose based. And there's something about the glucose that makes the fondant have more elasticity, and it works with the stamps better and works with sprinkles better. So we're going to talk about two different brands. So first off, the brand that I recommend, the brand that I really like is Renshaw. They work great with the stamps and great with sprinkles. You can get it on Amazon, and the price fluctuates. They run coupons, so I can't even tell you how much it is because it changes all the time. But this is a glucose-based, British-made fondant, and I really like it. Okay, the other one, and I just found this. I haven't had a chance to test it yet. I'm going to do a video soon testing this one. This is Color Mill, and I really like them. They're known for their colorants. And the reason I'm so excited about trying this is because it's glucose-based, but it doesn't have any titanium dioxide. So a lot of fondant, when you open it and it smells like Elmer's glue, that's the titanium dioxide, which is one of the reasons I hate fondant, like most store-bought fondant. And even the Renshaw has some titanium dioxide, but this Color Mill fondant doesn't have any of that. It's actually like the cleanest fondant I have ever seen. So I'll be doing a video soon testing this one out. Because, when you look at the fondant, I love the sharp lines of the fondant and everything. I just don't like the way fondant tastes. But if I could find a fondant that actually tastes good, I will definitely let you guys know about that. Alrighty, so as far as coloring, whenever I'm making cookies and my family's going to be eating them, like the buttercream, my family prefers buttercream, I always use natural food dye. We like India Tree. You can also make your own. There's lots of, I can do some videos on homemade natural food dye sometime. But and so the colors are always going to be kind of lighter and more pastel. But when it comes to sprinkles, I typically use Color Mill. And one of the reasons I find that they work best with making sprinkles is because so a lot of food dyes out there are they're water based, and the fondant doesn't hold its elasticity, whereas this is glycerin based. The fondant holds its elasticity. It's really easy to work with. So when it comes to sprinkles, I do this stuff, even though I don't like artificial food dyes. I mean, there's just so few of them, so it's not a big deal. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so now that I've got my surface cleaned, got my roller, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to do like the simplest version. So this is yellow. We're just going to do some stars. I'm just going to kind of press it down. and we're going to roll that out. And I want to roll it out to about roughly 2 millimeters thick. Like, it does not have to be very thick. And then I've got my cornstarch bag right here. See that? And I'm just going to take my star cutter and tap, tap. And I'm going to kind of wiggle it a bit, pull straight up. Wiggle it a bit, pull straight up. Wiggle it a bit, pull straight up. And that's all I'm going to do for the video. Normally I would do like this entire piece, and then you just peel it up, put my fondant back under my cake dome, and each one of our sprinkle sets comes with one of these sprinkle dryers, sprinkle sheets. I need to come up with a name for them. Anyway, I like to dry the sprinkles on these. This is called a tissue blade. You can get them from Amazon or craft stores, super duper cheap. Anyway, and you're just gonna lift it up with a tissue blade and put it onto your sprinkle sheet, and then that's going to dry. And one of the reasons I love these sprinkle sheets is because they fit perfectly in these boxes. It's like a 4x6 little plastic box. I think it's called a photo box. Anyway, and so I can just put it in there and walk away and let it dry. And so I have a whole organizer full of different sprinkles. And this is just such a handy way of organizing sprinkles. I can very clearly look, see what sprinkles I have, what sprinkles I need to make. I love this way of organizing sprinkles. Once they're dry, I put them into little jars or containers. But for drying, the photo box method works really well. Okay, so now we're going to do the rainbow and the unicorn. These both have a base of white. So I'm going to grab some white fondant here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to roll this out about 2 millimeters thick. All right, there we go. And let's see here. All right, so I'm going to tap, tap, okay? And again, you're just, putting it down, pull it up. Pull it down, pull it up. Put it down, pull it up. Really easy. Now, sometimes if you forget to tap it, or I'm going to try to get it stuck. Ugh. The one time I want to get it stuck, I can't. That's how it goes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so it's not doing it for me, but if it ever gets stuck, just tap it back on the fondant, and this fondant will pull it back out. All right, and we're going to do the unicorns now. Again, tap, tap. Kind of wiggle a little bit, pull straight up. Wiggle a bit, pull straight up. There we go. Okay, well, none of them stuck. But anyway, if it ever gets stuck in the cutter, you just tap it onto the fondant and it'll stick to that fondant and come right out of your cutter. So, not a big deal. So you peel your excess fondant back. Keep that under my dome. Same thing as the other ones. I am going to use a tissue blade, and I kind of did the magic of TV today. And I already started making some, and these you can see are on the sprinkle sheet. One thing I wanted to say, once you get used to working with the fondant and the sprinkle cutters, you can actually roll the fondant out onto the sprinkle sheet and do the same thing, where you're cutting with the cutters and then just peel the fondant up, and it'll actually just already be right there on the sprinkle sheet. So it can be faster, but that's a bit of a learning curve. I wouldn't say it's a huge learning curve. Like, the first day you work with these, you'll figure it out. And anyway, I'm just, for the sake of a video, because everything seems to go wrong when I try to do a video, I just went ahead and rolled some out. Okay, so here we go. So now I've got my unicorns and rainbows all together here. Oops. All right, so we're going to talk about coloring them. Okay, so as you can see on these sprinkles, try to get that a little bit of a close up. These have some color to them, and so do the unicorns. So my favorite way to watercolor onto sprinkles, normally I would let these dry. It's not a big deal though, you don't have to. Okay, so we'll start with the unicorns. So I'm just going to take a purple food marker, and I'm going to put it in a little paint tray. Just kind of color in there a bit. And then I've got, this is a little bit of vodka or Everclear, you can use whatever. Just a couple drops, you really don't need much. I think that's like 3 drops right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take a paintbrush, just a thin tip paintbrush, get all of that marker incorporated in there. All right, and what I'm going to do now is just go paint the parts of the unicorn that are purple. I mean, it just couldn't be easier. I am not a painter. I cannot paint. I cannot draw, but I can do this. So if I can do this, anybody can do this. And that is it. That's how you do the unicorns. So now we are going to talk about the rainbows. It's exactly the same thing. You're just going to use, I'm trying to remember, there's like an actual pattern to it. I think it's pink is on the inside. And then, what was it? Yellow. Okay. Blue. And again, using the food markers. You can use the food dye, but just get a little bit with a toothpick. You don't want to have too much. I love using the food markers, though. It's so much cleaner. It's tidier. It's faster. It seems to be less waste, too, somehow. And again, just like 2 drops of vodka or Everclear or whatever in each compartment, 2 or 3, you know, just kind of whatever looks right to you. Okay. And for the rainbows, the innermost part of the rainbow is going to be pink. And so what I do is I just go through and I do all the pinks at once. And once I've finished all of the pink, I'm going to go back. I'm just going to do a couple of these for the sake of the video. Okay. Just kind of gently. I really like the light, you know, subtle watercolor effect that you get with this method. And again, normally I would wait until these are all dry to paint them, but it doesn't seem to be making a big difference. All right, next color for the rainbow is going to be the yellow. Again, just mix it up. And, okay, I'm beginning to wish I had my reading glasses. That would have helped. That's okay. You guys get the idea. I'm sure y'all can see what I'm doing. Same thing. I'm just going to go through, and on all of the rainbows, I'm going to paint that middle one yellow. I hope none of y'all are like really OC and like get upset that I'm not painting them all right now. I tell you what, you can rest at ease and know this. As soon as I finish filming this video, I will finish painting all of these sprinkles. So nothing's going to be left undone. All right. And then the last one is going to be the blue. And I don't know, I just love that color scheme. It's so cute. So cute. And like I said, these sprinkles last, I mean, just forever. Just, you know, check the expiration date of your fondant package. Usually they have a shelf life of like a couple years. And just keep them, once they dry, just keep them in an airtight container, you know, stored away from sunlight. And, you know, I really like my photo box method. And then I put them in these little plastic jars once I've gotten them all done. And, okay, it is kind of bothering me that this one didn't get its yellow. Let me go fix that. Okay, that's pretty much it. So you guys get the idea. That's how we do that. I'm going to let these dry at least 24 hours before I put them on any cookies. Let's see what's next. So the other day when I did the cookies, I had told you like when we put the water down the flow royal icing into the compartment that's like the milk, what I had said was I prefer to let this dry, the royal icing dry. The reason is there's water in that royal icing when it's wet. And if you put the sprinkle down, the fondant and the sprinkle will try to soak up that water and it'll be soggy again. And that's true, but at the same time, it dries back out. So, but I do recommend just putting your royal icing in, let the cookie dry, and then the next day come adhere your sprinkles with a little bit of food glue or, you know, corn syrup or something to use as glue. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Okay, so the other thing I forgot to mention about the Lucky Charms cereal cookies the other day, when it came time to painting the spoons, I totally forgot to do that on camera. So anyway, the reason I like to do the spoons in the white fondant or white buttercream, like I talked about in the other video, is because it makes the silver just really pop. And all this is silver or pearl luster dust, you know, just whatever. And it's just watered down with a little bit of alcohol. And you just let that dry. And there you go. You got your nice silvery look to it. You can get a more silver look. I think this is actually like pearl luster dust, so it's not like the most silvery color. And that is it. That is how we make sprinkles with our sprinkle cutters. And we'll be listing a lot more sprinkle cutter sets in the coming weeks. But that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. or contact me through the website, and that's it. And I'll be back soon with another video on testing out the Color Mill fondant. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.